in business and in life, sometimes you can feel a little bit lost. And what I find, what helps me, currently I'm a little bit in this situation, what I find what helps me is setting goals and setting a direction for myself. So this means, for example, maybe your business is going like in different directions and you're trying things out because you're trying out different business models because you know that they work, because you know that they can make money. So just kind of shooting your shot at that. At least that's kind of what I'm doing, and I think that's a good thing, because that way we can learn from experience in something that's proven to work. I guess the problem is when you are someone who is like wants to have like more of a purpose to your business or to your life, you're probably not satisfied with just having a business that generates cash, even though that in itself can be quite an achievement to even get to that point. But it always depends on you where you want to take things. And for me, I find like I want to have like an integrated way of life, which means that I don't just want a business that makes cash. Of course, the end goal of any business is always to make cash, otherwise it wouldn't be a business. But there is a difference between something like life coaching or even social skills training, or even something cultural like what Charlie Kirk did. There's really many things you can do with a business. And if you compare that to the commercial side, that's more like maybe like marketing, sales. There's nothing wrong with that because they are like the mechanisms, and that's quite important. But not everyone is satisfied with just the commercial side of things. And even if you look at many top entrepreneurs, especially like Elon Musk is also someone who really has like a vision, and of course he's like super about wealth as well, but it's also about you want to like do something meaningful, right? So that's what matters to me. So sometimes that doesn't always mean that you need to completely change your business model. Sometimes it's just something you need to ponder about, in your mind, like feel aligned with yourself, with your emotions. And then sometimes you don't even need to make any changes in the business. It's just your mind getting realigned. And then suddenly maybe you find meaning in your current business. Even with sales, maybe for me, sometimes I lose passion for sales. And when I like realign myself, and because I already know that sales is like aligned with me, but in my long-term vision, but that's not the day-to-day. Sometimes I don't always feel like talking to people. But if I realign myself and I'm like, what do I really want? How do I feel right now? Then it's like, okay, maybe I feel in this moment like I don't really like to be charismatic, or in this moment I don't really like to sell in this way. But then I can still like find another way that I can still do sales. I can find a way that's maybe more of a serious way of relating to people, maybe more of a just business, or just like a transactional way. Sometimes that works as well. but it's, it's about realigning to what you feel, and then sometimes things magically fix itself. But that's not the only thing, I think. Because I really want to think about, do I really even want to pursue this business model? And that sounds pretty negative, because it is something I am serious about. But at the same time, like, I wonder a lot about, it feels very, very just focused on commercial, and that's not the way I want to live my life. So I'm wondering, like, sometimes, should I pivot to a different model? Should I pivot to more like life coaching or something? I don't know. But I think we don't always need to make like decisions fast, right? Some decisions you can make fast, but other ones you need some more time to find the proper direction. People always say in entrepreneurship that, speed is like the number one thing. And I don't agree, again, you can put that into question because I'm not the number one entrepreneur. But speed is really, in my opinion, speed is good for certain decisions. If you need to make the decision, then why not make it right away? If it's like you need to find an efficient process at the end of the day. So some decisions you're gonna need to just move if it's the right decision. But maybe you're a little bit fearful or whatever, but it's the right decision, then I think in those cases it can make sense to just do what you need to do. But in other cases, it can also make sense to think and feel things through more. But that depends a lot on your personality, and it also depends on the type of decisions that we're talking about. So that's the thing. But really, where I wanted to take this is that when you feel like you're missing alignment in your life, in your business, what helps often is just, setting goals, finding a direction, just like contemplating and feeling things out. Maybe you already know that. For me, it's like I feel that something is off, and I know if I would go whatever, if I would just keep myself busy, I would not be doing the alignment work that I probably need to do. So it's about really taking some time. If you feel something is off, take some time to feel where you really want to go and how you can do that. Because I think, if you don't think things through what you really want, then you're just going to stay in your current situation. And that could be okay, but it's really something you need to fill out. So anyway, that was the video for today. I hope you guys are well. Check out my next video if you want. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.